Hey everyone, the name is Kris Barocsi, and today I want to answer the question if a Plexi style amp can do proper chuggy metal. If you own one of these amps and know how to extend its overdrive range, then you probably know the answer to that question already. But I made my video on the Friedman Plex, this one, a couple of weeks ago when I got it, and it's an amazing amp, and you guys loved it too. Thanks for all the cool comments, and I've seen a lot of this in the comment section, like people writing, such a versatile amp, oh my god, this does everything, well, except for metal. I didn't show that in the video that I did. I went much more for like clean to low gain to like 70s, 80s kind of high gain with like a Marshall 4x12 cab simulation in the aux box. So that doesn't really show what the amp can do if you approach it in a different way. So that's exactly what we're doing today. First of all, I will use a different cabinet today, and that is a huge thing. Like, if you ever experimented with cabinets and speakers, you know what a massive difference it makes, especially in high gain tones. So instead of using the greenback loaded Marshall 4x12 cab sim that I used in the aux box for my first Friedman Plex video, I'll be using a Mesa 4x12 with V30s, like the traditional like rectifier cab, I guess. Again in the aux box, and that sounds like this with just the Plex, no pedals, no nothing. Gibson going into the Plex, blasted. As you can tell, it does sound awesome, but it still misses that, well, the chug, you know what I mean. I do the same thing as with every other amp, where I feel that this palm mute doesn't really mute that much anymore, which is natural to amps. I would go back with the gain. On this amp, it's the volume, because that's the only gain knob you have, until this disappears. This is the base of my tone. A really, really chuggy guitar, even though I know it's like an old school guitar, it's your grandpa's guitar, but it's one of the chuggiest, tightest guitar I've ever played. And if you ever recorded with a Les Paul, you know exactly what I mean. This is just the guitar going into the Friedman with the volume, channel 1 volume at 6. Channel 2 is off because I don't want the woolly bigness. I want it as tight as possible. And that sounds amazing already, but it's still kind of rock, hard rock. Now, in order to make that chug, well, you do the classic trick, choose the right pedal. Now, what I want to do today is show you a couple of options, what kind of pedals you can use to get there, right? You can take the classics, of course, the Boss OD1 or SD1. Amazing pedal in order to make an amp chug like hell. The Tube Screamer, the TS808 or TS9, TS10, whichever version you have, that is amazing for that. A little more low end, well, you'll hear it, I don't explain stuff. Then a clone style pedal, which is again amazing. It does have a bit more lower mid-range, so it's gonna be a little bit thicker, a little less chuggy, but also really, really cool. And I have a fourth pedal, which is not at all a classic overdrive. This is the Shantop signature Tilt Overdrive by Rev, which has a boost side with a low cut and like a tilt EQ, and an overdrive side that has a bass and treble knob, very useful in this case, and it's kind of a creamy low gain sweet overdrive, which works usually really well with a cranked amp like the Friedman Plex. Before I turn on any of the overdrives, let's hear how that sounds, like the guitar going straight into the amp and the Mesa 4x12 cabinet simulation in the aux. That is amazing already, and it's really close to being awesome. It just needs a little more convincing, a little more push in front of the amp. So let's see how the pedals compare, one after the other, the same riff. I think at this point it's fair to say that the Plex chugs. And that's the beauty of combining the right stuff to get your perfect rig for a specific sound. And yeah, and the same thing goes for guitars. Like you take something as old school and simple as this guitar, there's no push-pull, you know, coil split, whatever. It's just 3 positions, super low output, vintage like PAF style pickups, these mojo tones, and you can get the coolest like chuggy sound with the right rig. You just have to combine things well, and that takes some time. You know, just experiment with your stuff. Put things together that shouldn't necessarily work, because sometimes they really do. I mean, this is all old school stuff. A Les Paul going into you know, a low gain mid-focused overdrive and then into a very old school amp. It's it chugs, man. It chugs. All right, see you in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the sounds you've heard today, and let me know what your approach is to your perfect high gain sound. All right, see you in the next video. Bye bye.